if you want to get better at rapping, or if you're just now starting out. All right, before I start this, man, some of these people are my favorite rappers. Most of them aren't. I'm gonna put some people on this list that are not actually rappers at the very end, but just if you don't want to listen to them on a daily or study what they do, I would say at least take their most popular songs, the songs that have been on the radio, and Google their best work, or go on YouTube and type in their top 10 songs. Now, if you watched my last video on how to start rapping, I forgot to tell you one tip as far as reading. You need to be listening to people's music, get the lyrics, and read the lyrics while you listen to the songs, and listen to the song again after that, if that's what you want to do. But if you want to improve something like your flow or your style or your appearance or your appeal or your delivery, definitely do that. Definitely do, or read it first. Read it first, and try to remember certain bars and see how they would spit it before, or try to imagine how you think they would spit it before. All right. So number one, this dude's actually one of my favorite rappers, Snoop. Snoop, because Snoop is the godfather of sauce as far as rapping. Snoop Dogg is, if you want to improve your sauce, if you want to improve your swag in any way, if you want to make, even if you want to do something like you want to make depressing songs, anything like that, listen to Snoop. I think everybody should just know like three Snoop songs, like Stacy Adams, Gin and Juice, and think about it. I mean, Gin and Juice, everybody knows Gin and Juice. I couldn't think of a third one. G Thing, that's a good song too. Just listen to the best of Snoop Dogg. Easy. All right, so next, number two, Ice Cube. Ice Cube, because Ice Cube is the godfather of delivery. Okay, he might not be the godfather of delivery, but he's my favorite rapper as far as delivery. When I need to deliver something aggressive, or if I want to improve my delivery, I listen to Ice Cube. Definitely. Number three, Lord Infamous. Lord Infamous, because he was a poet, and because he pioneered the flow that is the most popular right now. The Migos flow, they got that from a rapper named Lord Infamous of 3 6 Mafia. He died, it was about 4 years ago. But if you really want to know the foundation, the roots of the music that you hear, 98% of the rap that's out right now, listen to Lord Infamous. Lord Infamous listened to a lot of Spice One, which is weird because 3 6 has a song with Spice One and he wasn't on it, and he uses his ad libs a lot in his music. I don't know what the deal with that was. It's called Wet Party. But yeah, definitely Lord Infamous. Next, 8 Ball. 8 Ball, I like 8 Ball because I like Southern rap, because they make things so simple sound so cool, and they pack a lot of punch in small words and with very little words. That's just the Southern thing. That's just the Southern thing. When you compare Southern music to, especially in the 90s, when you compare Southern music from the 90s to New York hip hop, it has this, to me, in my opinion, and it has the same effect. Because if you can say less words and still say as much as somebody who said triple the words with quadruple the syllables, I think that's impressive. I think that's a definite skill. I think that's something that 8 Ball does really well. He tells really good stories. He has a good imagination. He has a song called "The Artist Pays the Price" that you need to listen to. I need to make a list of the 10 songs you need to listen to improve your rap. But he puts messages in the songs, and he makes up stories, and he tells really good stories too. I mean, the art of storytelling is something that is not as appreciated anymore, definitely. But Yeah, I didn't put any. I put some good storytellers on this list, but I wasn't really aiming for that. You're not gonna hear me say anybody's a good storyteller. Well, I probably will now, but yeah. So next, Saul Williams. Again, Saul Williams is a poet. He has a rock group, and he he's just he's sick with it. He's not even. I wouldn't even consider him a rapper. I would consider him a hip hop artist, but he does it all. He definitely does it all. He has a movie. I think he directed that movie named Slam. He's directed different um, hip hop operas and shows and things like that. I'm sure he's produced different shows. But definitely just look at his resume and listen to a song called "Coded Language" by Saul Williams. He's ill. All right. So next, Lloyd Banks. Lloyd Banks of G Unit. Now a lot of people don't listen to Lloyd Banks. They like Fab more. I think Fabulous is corny, but that's okay. I say Lloyd Banks because you can tell that he doesn't listen to the same music when he writes. You can tell he reads poetry or maybe he listens to poetry. You can hear that he listens to reggae. He listens to a plethora of music. He's very you can tell that he listens to a lot of music and he's just cold. He's just sick. If you listen to a mixtape called the whole Five and Better, I think was what it's called, Five and Better series, the Halloween Havoc and the Happy Birthday mixtape and Cold Corner 2 and V5 is my favorite mixtape by him. That whole mixtape was fire. If you want to listen to a song by Lloyd Banks, listen to a song called it's either called Bully or Big Bully. That is that's a sick song. All right. Next, 50 Cent, the creator of G Unit. I say 50 Cent because he is he is an alchemist. I know he does energy work. I'm sure he does energy work, and I take a lot of life tips from 50 Cent. He started out as a hustler. He didn't start rapping until I think he was like 30. And him selling drugs and being in the street and just being a hood, he took everything that he knew and he put it in a song. He knows that you don't need to be a good rapper to be a good rap to be a successful rapper. You can simply be a good businessman. You could simply be a good salesman. All of his songs on the Massacre, which is my favorite album by him, it's just one long commercial. It's just one long commercial. My favorite song off the album, of course, Hustler's Ambition. That was just a big 50 Cent commercial. For real, for real. But because he also, the biggest reason you should be listening to 50 Cent is not because it's alchemy, but because he writes good songs. He knows how to write a song. He doesn't have the best voice in the world, but he knows how to appeal to the ear without auto tune and make it still sound like something you can sing along with. If you don't know how to write a song, listen to 50 Cent, then you can go and explore the different types of R&Bs and rocks that you need to listen to be able to improve your songwriting abilities. 50 Cent is a better songwriter than he is a singer. I think that if he would have never started rapping, he could still write songs for people, for big people. I definitely believe that. So listen to 50 Cent. Lupe, I would say next Lupe Fiasco because his level of creativity, because he does not drink and smoke. From what he said, he probably smokes weed now because he's a little bit older. And because a lot of the things that he puts on his albums, he freestyled off the top, never wrote them down. And you cannot tell the difference. That's one of the reasons that I had to master freestyling because I watched a lot of his radio freestyles and they were better than the stuff that I could write at that time. I didn't know that at that time. I knew it was comparable, but now that I've humbled myself, I could say he could freestyle better than the stuff I could write. Because I was like, my 15 when I started listening to Lupe. But he's just ill. He's better than I wouldn't say he's better than Banks. I think they should have done a song together, but hey, that's all it is. Next, I was gonna say this at number one, but I felt like I was gonna lose a lot of people. But this generation now, it's probably mostly younger kids watching this video. But Chief Keef, why should you listen to Chief Keef? Because Chief Keef has some good hooks. He's one of the most influential rappers. If you listen to a lot of Chief Keef and you subconsciously program yourself with Keefism, you're going to sound like something that all the young kids want to hear. I'm not the biggest Chief Keef fan, but I will give him his props. All right. The other reason you should listen to Chief Keef, of course, is because his creativity. Now, if you did not know, Chief Keef is on the scale of autism, which I'm not making fun of, dude, but I'm saying that is definitely something that adds to his level of creativity and his ability to create. Now, I would assume that he smokes a lot of weed in his real life because he raps about it a lot. He has like 2 to 3 songs that's only about weed on like all his project, all his projects. I haven't listened to any recent Chief Keef. The last Chief Keef I listened to was 2017, but that was a fire mixtape. Um, it's not too much more I can say about that. Next, and this is this. Okay, I didn't put any more Chicago rappers after this. It's only two. Next will be Young Pappy. Young Pappy was a pioneer. Young Pappy has some good delivery. And I could say, like a lot of people say they have bars and they don't say anything. You know, it just sounds good to the ear. But Pap actually had lyrics. And it wasn't like consistent like Nas, Rubik's Cube type style of lyricism. But he did slip a couple in there. And the fact that he could change your mood, get you in the same mind status, and get you sucked into his vortex, and stimulate your mind in a lyrical way from here to there. And his beat selection, and just a number of things. But those are a couple reasons you should listen to Young Pappy. R.I.P. to him. Next, Famous Dex or Dexter. Why Dexter? Because Dexter is like 50 Cent. Dexter's an alchemist and he writes good songs. Now, the old Dexter was a lot more enjoyable as far as to the ear. But this new Dexter is just all energy. All energy. He doesn't call himself a rapper, a rap artist, a hip hop artist, none of that. He calls himself an entertainer. Okay, like Uzi calls himself a rock star. I think Uzi or the ear drummer dudes call themselves rock stars. But Dexter, the fact that he gets 1 million views like everything he puts out, his beat selection's always crazy, and he doesn't say much. He doesn't say much. He says the same 5 things pretty much every song, slips it in there, and then you're still excited to say that same thing. Something about a Zan, something about a Gram, little baby, where's your man, and whatever else he says. The Dexter, his ad libs. I'm not. I mean, I obviously put him on the list for a reason, but he says he says the same couple 2 3 things in every song. Something about a white girl doing coke, and the little baby where's your man thing. And sometimes he says who told you I was the man. Still, rhyme with which the kid. He says the same couple things where you can predict it because of the space and because of what he just ended that last bar with, but you're still excited to say that, and you know he's gonna say it. A lot of rappers can't do that. Good example, Mike Jones saying his phone number. If it was Dexter doing that, you would be excited to say that phone number 281-330-8004. You would be able to get excited about saying that. But when you buy Who is Mike Jones and he says it on every song except for Hey Grandma And one other song, um, he Mike Jones said his phone number in every song on that album except for Hey Grandma and 5 Years from Now. Every other song, I think that was 12 songs on that album. The other 10 of those songs, he said it. He said it. And I remember it, but I don't listen to Mike Jones, so he failed. All right, but next, obviously, Nas, 99.9% of people who came out before 2010 listened to Nas when they were growing up. If they weren't the same age as Nas, if they were. But I mean, there was still as many rappers famous in a specific age when I was growing up as they are right now. But they all listen to Nas for a reason. Even if you don't want to get on the lyricism, everybody, like I said, everybody should start out with boom bap, and everybody should have a good understanding of what it sounds like and be able to write one song like that that sounds hot. Everybody who raps should listen to Illmatic at least 3 times. New York State of Mind and Memory Lane. I think Memory Lane's my favorite song off that album. But just the complexity of it, the wording, the vocabulary, the beats were like they weren't. It depends on if you smoke weed, you'll probably appreciate the beat selection. But and if you're walking, if you're just faded, you'll be good. But yeah, definitely. If you're not gonna listen to the whole Illmatic, at least listen to Memory Lane, then New York State of Mind. But just I actually like the beat of New York State of Mind a lot. Yeah, just listen to those 2 songs. Oh, and then I'm gonna give you two songs of all the people I didn't list, and then the last Twista, because he can rap just like Nas, he can freestyle just how Nas spits, and he's just the most. I wouldn't even say he's definitely more versatile than Nas. He has more songs on the radio than Nas. I think that people know definitely. I only know like of 2, 3 songs that Nas has had on the radio. Twista, I don't know, but definitely just his style, his flow, the effect on the heartbeat. Okay, if you're not a Twista fan, you didn't get that, but he's lyrically just as good as Nas, but the performance and the effect that he has on the mood is, I think that he's the best rapper ever, and it's no bias because I was born and not even raised in Chicago, but definitely, bro. I'm gonna give you some honorable mentions. Honorable mention: Juicy J, Gucci Mane, and Spice One. Spice One is actually one of my favorite rappers, but he's just not as consistent. Uh, 2 more: Andre Nicotina and Sugar Free. Juicy J, Gucci Mane, Spice One, Andre Nicotina, Sugar Free. Listen to a song called On My Way by Sugar Free. Listen to Pisces by Andre Nicotina. Spice One, Murder Ain't Crazy. Anything by Gucci. Anything by Gucci. He has a song with Lil Baby. And the whole mixtape with him and Young Thug. I think it's called Thugger Man LaFleur. And then Juicy J, what's that album? Was Smoking and Rolling on it. Stay Trippy. I took off work to buy that album, got high, and listened to that whole album all day. That was a great album. And then artists that are not rappers that you should listen to: Erykah Badu, Nirvana. Kurt Cobain has some cold lyrics. Some cold lyrics, for real, for real. Nirvana, and of course, who I named my son after, Jimi Hendrix. So I'm going to give you a couple songs. I already gave you some Snoop songs. Stacey Adams, and Think About It. Ice Cube, I would say Gangsta Dealer, Dope. Gangsters, Killers, and Dope Dealers. And then anything off the Laugh Now, Cry Later album. Laura Infamous, Anyone Out There. And then it's a song by 3 6 Mafia called Sleep when he's on the first verse. 8 Ball, The Artist Pays the Price, Mr. Biggs. Saul Williams, Coded Language, and Amethyst Rockstar. Or Black Stacy. Lloyd Banks, Big Bully, and Officer Down. And then 50 Cent, of course, Hustler's Ambition, and When It Rains, It Pours. Definitely. I think that's on the same album. Chief Keef, Soul Tree, and then Love Sosa. I don't really know that many Chief Keef songs. Young Pap, I would definitely say Two Cups and Chirac. Famous Dexter, Break Her Off, and Who Told You I Was the Man, Hoes Mad. Nas already said not One Love. Memory Lane and New York State of Mind. Twister, definitely. Overdose, and Adrenaline Rush. And what the fuck? Song. The name of the song is Unsolved Mysteries. Definitely. And then the rest of the honorable mentions. Erykah Badu, I would say a song called I Want You. I've been listening to that every day. I Want You, Orange Moon, and Green Eyes. Nirvana, Heart Shaped Box. And I think it's called School. And then Jimi Hendrix, Castles Made of Sand. And All Along the Watchtower. Definitely. All right. So if you listen to all of those artists and all the songs I gave you, which will take you about 3 hours, then you will wake up feeling like a new person. Just get you some weeds, whatever drugs that you do. Hopefully they're not hard and you can't get addicted. And listen to those songs and free your mind. And anything that you dispute about any of these artists, get in the comment section and let me know. We can talk about it. That's it, man. I'm the Bang, you the Bang, we the Bang TV. AaroniMoses. Peace.